Good afternoon, class. My name is Mr. Izuchukwu. I'm presenting a paper on St. Aquinas' argument on God's existence. According to him, does God exist? From a faith-based perspective, such a question constitutes blasphemy because it disregards some basic components of faith and belief. According to Smith and Apodica, 2018, in the 13th century, St. Aquinas dared to ask the question and use logical inferences to provide compelling illustration to support his conviction that God exists. In his illustration, St. Aquinas used 5 arguments to argue his case. The argument from an original cause of all change, stroke, or mover. In this argument, St. Aquinas proposed that change is constant and undeniable. Since all changes have a cause, it follows that everything that exists has a propelling cause. Since the underlying cause has its own cause, the process of change creates a chain that links different outcomes. He argued that since this process cannot be endless or infinite, it followed that an original cause initiated all changes in reality. Second, St. Aquinas proposes that God is the fundamental cause of all relationships. This argument proposes that interactions have an intelligent design and have a certain sense of harmony. God is the underlying cause of all harmony, rather than the initial factor in an interaction. This argument connects to the first claim on the original cause of all changes. However, it entails a certain level of intelligence in design and unitary purpose. 3. The argument from contingency. St. Aquinas proposed that everything in the world has a beginning and an end. However, since life has not succumbed to perishability, it follows that necessary being exists for things to exist as they do. 4. The argument from the degree of goodness. St. Aquinas suggests that everything has a measure of intensity, goodness, longevity, or any other measure that describes relative condition. 5. The ultimate goal. In this argument, St. Aquinas proposes that everything in the world seems to interact in a particular pattern. This interaction drives towards an eventual cause. This argument proposes that interaction among intelligent beings and systems are not by chance. Based on the argument about the ultimate goal, St. Aquinas seems to embrace the concept of destiny because God intends all interactions and outcomes. Summary. In my understanding, each item in this argument describes an important aspect of God's essence or his nature, since it is impossible to derive or show God's physical impression. St. Aquinas is implying his existence from his essence. This is the equivalent of using clues to deduce a fact. In this case, a fact is singular because St. Aquinas' argument unites its elements and infers the existence of a supreme God. It is also notable that the condition that in addition to these 5 arguments, St. Aquinas made supporting observation and claim. According to Peter 2021, the most significant position for St. Aquinas' cosmological argument is God's simplicity. While everything has a physical form and an essence, God is the exception. St. Aquinas argued that while things the human mind could imagine, such things as a mountain of God or eternal youth, the concept essence does not translate to reality, stroke existence. Smith and Apodica 2018. However, God is simple in the sense that it is not possible to separate his essence, the concept of God, from his existence. Here is God's existence depends on a person's understanding of the concept of God. Based on his argument, St. Aquinas understands God as the source of all creation, an intelligent designer, and an ultimate standard. A big imagination of cosmological argument. The broad category of St. Aquinas' argument is that he assumed that an aspect of reality represents the entire set of conditions, stroke facts, in the same reality. This means that if something is true at point A, it is always true for the entire system associated with the point. It fails to accommodate the possibility of contradiction. In philosophy, the fallacy of composition details such type of errors in an argument, Peter 2021. Regardless of the limitation, St. Thomas Aquinas make a compelling argument based on the existing perception in his days. In particular, St. Aquinas uses the medieval theory of illustration to present a claim by addressing all counterclaims or opposition. Thanks.